Hello and welcome to your bite-sized podcast here on Four Lads Had a Dream. My name's Andrew and I'm joined tonight to discuss both the Benfica and Hibs games with two of my very favourite ones. First of all, Andy, how you doing, mate?
I'm well, mate. Aye, good to be back on after a wee break.
It's good to have you back, mate. And joining us as well, fresh off a solo broadcast coverage experience on Sunday, looking at the Hibs game, is Shona. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm very well. Looking forward to a wee chit chat tonight, so looking forward to it.
Oh, just all the luxury tonight. I think, in terms of the last two games, everyone's in quite a good mood. I think Hibs was always going to be, the more meaningful tie based on how realistic I think it is in terms of where we can go in the competitions. Although I know Stevie's obviously looking at hotel rooms in Dublin as we speak. But the Benfica game, coming into that, Andy, I don't know how confident you felt going into this game, given, the state of the squad, the injuries that we've had, and, frankly, the level of opposition as well. Benfica are obviously a quality team. But I think if you'd been asked beforehand, would you take a 2-2 draw? I think you'd absolutely have said yes. I don't know, Andy, if your mood was the same following the game, because to me it felt like we could have got something a little bit more out of that.
Yeah, I think before the game, if we'd have taken the tie back to Ibrox still alive, maybe a 1-goal defeat wasn't the end of the world. We've been there before, we've turned it around, so I would have absolutely taken a 2-2 draw at the start. But as you say, as the game went on, leading twice, scored a couple of nice goals, and then I think, as we'll maybe come on to in a bit more detail, just maybe frustration in the goals that we lost, kind of cheap goals, an unfortunate penalty and then an absolute howler of an own goal, things like that you don't expect. So, no, it was a good performance. At times when we have to hang on, we needed Butland as well, but I'd absolutely taken 2 each before, and, we know what can happen when we get back to Ibrox, and I think we're all building up to that one already.
Oh, absolutely. Obviously, we started the game really quickly. Lawrence gets that first goal. I think Rangers contributed well, Shona, for the most part. We were battling, but, just in the start of extra time, 45 minutes plus 2, Di Maria gets the penalty and puts it away. You want to throw your hands up in frustration because I think we had been the dominant team in that first half. But obviously that first half wasn't done quite yet. 45 plus 5, Sterling pops up with a second goal. So half time there, Shona. mood improved somewhat?
Absolutely. I think they were time wasting, so it gets right round them for time wasting, doesn't it? So, no, and I think Benfica are more or less a Champions League squad and they've got a few world-class players in there. But for me, even though they've got world-class players in there, they don't really seem to perform as a team. I think that was quite evident that we saw, even if you look at the stats. Do you know what I mean? We both had 5 shots on target. I think they obviously had 24 shots on goal, but and we only had 9. But I think overall, we can be quite gutted that the fact that they've not lost a home game in the Europa League in 37 games, and we were very close to doing that. So, look, I think overall, the Di Maria penalty incident was a bit of a one that was a bit of a kick in the teeth. I think if you look at the IFAB rules, it does state, do you know what I mean, that if it does come off your head first and then onto your arm, then it shouldn't be a penalty. So I think we were very much hard done by, especially the fact that a lot of people online were giving Suter and Golson a lot of pelters, and I felt really hard done by that, to be honest, because I thought they both had an excellent game. I thought they put their bodies on the line. Some went into blocks. I think Suter had 5 out of 5 tackles in the game. So, but yeah, no, I think the penalty probably came probably at the right timing for us, do you know, that way, because I think, as I said, with our time wasting, it kind of benefited us to get that second goal going into the half-time break.
Absolutely. I think, we go into that first half 2-1 up and things look really good. Unfortunately, I think this is where some of the criticism comes in for Golson, because the only goal in that second half is from him into our own net, unfortunately. I guess I think the quality of the free kick is such that he's limited in what he can do with it, but it's a real gutter to see us concede that. But I think, as you said, Andy, we keep that tie level coming back to Ibrox. We had taken it beforehand, but obviously there's that element of frustration. To be honest, I don't think we threatened particularly much in that second half. So, a lot of it was coming from Benfica. So as Shona kind of pointed out, the stats are quite level, but still, bit of a gutter.
Yeah, just such a cheap goal. Goldson's normally pretty good in those positions, and I think if he looks back, he'll just think, he's trying to be clever and maybe just put it over the bar, put it by the post, and if he looks back, he'll probably just wish he just got something on it, stuck it up in the air, even in his own box, just to prevent it going where it did. But as Shona said, actually, Golson was excellent. He defended really, really well. It was just one howling moment that. That's what it is. But I think if they'd scored a really nice goal, they had a lot of pressure in the second half and a lot of possession and, a couple of decent chances for Di Maria and just saves for Butland and stuff. If they'd scored one of them, you maybe say, oh, well, fair enough, they've taken one of their chances. But when you kind of gift it to them like that, there is a frustration. But I suppose the key thing is, though, we should all be disappointed with the result, according to Bill Leckie. It's only Benfica away from home, and it's not that good just to draw 2 each with a half a team. So,
well, exactly. We should obviously be scudding them 5-0, clearly. With our 12 fit players, and as we've said, the fact that Shona, I think you said it was 38. As far as I know, they've never lost a European tie at home. So it's a ridiculous record that they've got. The fact that we managed to go toe-to-toe with them and, can feel a little bit unfortunate to have walked away with a draw, I think speaks volumes. But, hey, that's only our opinion, right? What do we know? I wanted to highlight a couple of the players from this game before we move on to Hibs, because I think, for me at least, this was probably the first game where I'd really noticed how effective Diomande has started to become in that midfield. Shona, in terms of the way he was running about the ball, obviously sets up Lawrence's goal. I think he contributed really well throughout the whole game. He's really impressed me since he's come in, and I think he was doing fantastic work in that game. But what was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought the assist that he got for the Lawrence goal, I think he was right in what he was doing. He made that run, didn't he, down the left-hand side and created the space. And I think from what I'd seen, I think Clermont had identified their weaknesses, and one of their weaknesses is basically at the back post. And it obviously was, I think it was, am I right in saying it was Sterling that made the movement towards the front post, which allowed Lawrence to get the space in the middle of the park. So, but overall, I thought Diomande was absolutely fantastic. He was quite lucky not to be man of the match. I just think there was a couple other players that edged it for me. But yeah, I think for me, what I noticed about Diomande, he just seems to be in the right place at the right time, and he makes the right tackle. Yeah. Also, as well, he likes to get himself about the pitch, like we saw obviously with the assist and obviously defending. So, no, he's really, really impressed me so far, and he put obviously that ball on a plate for Tom Lawrence to score the header. So, no, I think for me, I think Diomande has really, really impressed me so far in the middle of the park. I think a lot of people are kind of comparing him to Yaya Toure or Yaya Toure. So, no, I've said this before. I think if you can keep that guy fit, I think yesterday he probably obviously will go into, but I think he probably slightly struggled. But I think a few of the players are obviously just getting a wee bit leggy at the moment in time. So I think that's just purely down to the fact that we've obviously not got that many people in fit enough at the moment with the amount of injuries that we've got. But I thought overall, Diomande was really, really good. I thought he got himself right all over that pitch. So no, he impressed me so far. He's impressing me.
That's good. Frankly, the number of signings that we've made where it's taken them 6 months to get up to speed and start contributing effectively is too long, basically. The fact that he's been able to come in and hit the ground running so effectively is really good. Obviously, Andy, this is going to come with a little bit of foreshadowing, but it was really nice to see Ross McCausland come back into this game as well. Given the tackle that he'd suffered in the previous game, I think there were fears that he was going to be out for a while, but it was good to see him back in following that tackle. I think, unfortunately, as we'll come on to talk about, I think just in general, this squad's getting really leggy at this point. Everyone looks a little bit knackered, and we certainly looked knackered towards the end of this Benfica game. Yeah,
it was good to see Ross back. Could have been a really nasty one against Motherwell, actually, and of course, should have been a red card, but we got all the decisions, don't we? So couldn't have been right. But it was good to see him come back.
Andy, there'll be no controversy about red cards in this podcast.
No,
I can certainly assure you of that.
Definitely nothing to come in that. No, definitely not. But I think in terms of the legginess, I think the one that maybe worried me the most was John Lundstrom. I thought second half, it looked as if he was towing a caravan a bit. They were really putting a lot of pressure on us, and the speed they played at, he was just struggling to keep up with it on the night. As we get into that second half, he really did start to look leggy, and at that point you're maybe starting to wonder. But I dare say we'll come on to later when we do the Hibs game. I a slight surprise in how well he played there. So, yeah, on the night, as you say, we started a wee bit heavy-legged into the second half as they put on the pressure. But, I mean, as you said, with the squad, that's to be expected. I don't think we expect to be running over the top of teams at the moment and steamrolling them when you're losing players left, right and centre. But, they hung in there and got the result, and that was the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Benfica piled on the pressure towards the end, but we managed to stick it out to take the draw. So happily take that. And then, yeah, obviously, we got plenty of time to react. 3 days, and we're into a quarter final for the Scottish Cup against Hibs at Hibs. Shona, you were at the game. I guess what was your kind of take on the atmosphere beforehand? Because watching it back on TV, both sets of fans certainly looked like they were very up for this before kickoff.
Yeah, it was for me. I thought the atmosphere was absolutely incredible yesterday at Hibs. You could see both hands definitely going at it. I think there was a wee bit of I don't know, if something in the air yesterday where Hibs thought they probably could get a result against us. But look, I thought the Rangers fans were absolutely brilliant, and that song at the very end was absolutely fantastic to hear that obviously that we're going to win the lot. So as I said, I think overall, I think when you look at the Hibs game, it's probably one of those ones where we're now looking forward to probably the international break. I think with the amount of injuries and the legginess that we've got, I think even Clement says he's only got a few players in the team that he knows what he wants for the intensity of these games, and that's the likes of Golson, Tav and Lundstrom. So, and the most important thing is about solidarity. So, I think with the amount of games that we've got coming up, I think it's really difficult at the moment to rest these players. And I think that's the first time that Clement has chosen the same team back to back in consecutive games. Yeah, so I was actually quite surprised about that. I actually thought there would have been a few changes. I thought the likes of Balogun and Barisic might have come in, so maybe it was just a step too far with the games that we have that are building up. So, and that's why maybe we're getting a lot of injuries at the moment. But look, the manager knows who he wants to pick from, and I think what he said yesterday in the presser, he basically knows what the players that you can trust going forward. And I think that's why you probably saw the likes of Lundstrom staying off on midweek, and maybe in the Benfica game, I just felt as if, just going back to it just for 2 seconds, that Clement probably decided in the 70th, 75th minute just see out the draw so he could keep these players, at least give them a wee bit of a rest for obviously the cup final against Hibs. And I think that's why you saw the likes of Raskin and McCausland and obviously McKinnon coming on, who obviously I think has had a good impact since he came on as well. So I think overall, I think the manager is obviously really down to the bare bones, and it's a bit unfortunate that obviously Sterling and McCausland went back off injured yesterday. So look, I think the Sterling one for me, I think from what I've been hearing from the likes of Joshua and a few other people, that the Sterling one doesn't look as bad as first thought. So that's good news, I suppose. But I think we really need this international break to come up, because I think the players definitely need a rest. But I think you could have seen that in the Hibs game yesterday. We just looked a wee bit leggy, a wee bit off it, and that was probably the whole team as a whole. I thought especially the midfield, I thought we got drowned in the midfield in the first half, and I think that's why the manager made a change in the second half to bring Tav further into midfield.
In that second half, Tav was playing basically wherever he wanted, which, I mean, he's done that in the past before, but it was still always a pleasure to see, as long as we're winning, obviously. I think, Andy, we did start that game off really well. Super John Lundstrom, who is definitely finding a good vein of form right now, gets that goal in the 23rd minute. We did start well. I think for the majority of that first half, I think we were on top. I think both teams went for it, obviously, and there were a couple of scares. Jack Butland's maybe over celebrating his birthday by letting Hibs get nearly a free shot on goal, in terms of his close control before he kicks it out. But I think we started off that first half quite well. It's when we get into the second half, after Lundstrom's put us 1-0 up, that I think Hibs started the second half a lot better. But as things continue to not come off for them, things started getting, let's say, a little towsy.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, 1-0 down in a cup tie, Hibs have got to come out and go for it, haven't they? And, they came out in the second half, started sharp, and, as you say, they maybe just let it get to them a bit too much when that maybe wasn't paying off for them. You know, they maybe weren't getting level or getting shots and chances away. And yeah, as you say, a bit of discipline. And I think one of the things that's been said after the game is that, you know, we kept our heads as they lost theirs. And I'm sure we'll come on to the individual incidents with that and, you know, all these incorrect decisions that we keep hearing about afterwards.
Honestly, I love the refereeing conspiracy because it's obviously paid off dividends for us so far, winning, 3 trophies over the past 12 years. It's been doing wonders for us, I swear. We've been main beneficiaries of this vast conspiracy of referees. So it's worked really well. Shona, we'll talk about Abita first. He obviously looked in a mood, let's say. I picked up a yellow card for, let's call it, a cynical challenge to stop Lawrence from rushing through. He probably could have been sent off earlier than this as well. McCausland's coming off again after being kicked off the park, and he runs over and starts trying to force the player and the physio off the pitch. Now, I can understand this if, a player's just walking off by himself unaided and, he's just taking his time running the clock down. That's kind of gamesmanship. That's fine. But the fact is that McCausland's going off after receiving treatment and he's being walked off by his physio. Especially given that our physios were helping out with their injured player, who was thankfully okay, given how serious that one looked. I mean, he could have gone much earlier, so it's shocking to me that he thinks that he's somehow being hard done by here.
Yeah, I think Hibs absolutely lost the plot yesterday. I think with the Abita challenge, like you said, after the second challenge on McCausland, and then to put your hands up on the likes of Matondo, it was clear intent. Do you know that way? Like, I think... for me, like why would you have your hands up in that in where he was? So it was not like he was in the penalty box. It wasn't like there was a corner coming in. It was clear intent what he was actually doing. So no, he was very lucky to stay on the pitch, as you said, after that second challenge on McCausland. So no, I think there was no need for that movement for him to strike out on Matondo at the time. So he deserved his sending off, and I think at that moment in time, Hibs completely lost the plot. He was absolutely rattled. I don't know what was going on with that Abita, but he was absolutely rattled. So, no, I think it was clear as day that these red cards were given. And, bring on the conspiracy theories. They'll do anything at the moment to stop us winning this league, and it's just not working out for them. So, not only were the Hibs players rattled, but clearly some of the pundits have been rattled as well.
Quite. I was obviously on a brief holiday watching this on Rangers TV, so I missed out on hearing Michael Stewart's reactions live to this. But from the clips I've subsequently seen, he seemed quite upset. And I think, to be honest, he's got to be honest about where his motivation is. It's not that he actually thinks that any rules are being broken. He just, wanted the decision to not go against Hibs. Or rather, he wanted the decisions to go against Rangers, let's say. So, obviously, there's an element of frustration there already, and we definitely see it with Moira Welsh because he throws himself at Lundstrom. Andy, I think if you leave the ground 2 foot in the air and make no real attempt to actually connect with the ball, that's probably a red card, right?
You would think. No, I mean, it was absolutely wild. I mean, as Shona said, they were starting to lose the plot, and when you watch the build-up to this, you just see the ball goes loose, and he goes absolutely steaming in, as you say, 2 feet off the ground, uncontrolled, ticks all the boxes, excessive force, endangering an opponent, everything else, and, the ref was right to show him the straight red, didn't need VAR or anything else. It's just one of those things you just can't do. You can't tackle like that nowadays. And, the fact that we've had complaints about it is just absolutely hilarious because if that was one of our players, I mean, you would hear the stadium gasp when you see a player going in like that. You just know straight away that, he's made an absolute mess of it, and I don't know how there's complaints.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's Scottish football, so obviously any decision goes.
Yeah,
exactly. Any decision goes for us. I mean, Lundstrom could be being stretched off there with a broken leg. So, I'm not entirely sure what we're gaining from that, really. We're protecting a player, which is probably what referees should be doing. But, hell, look, we obviously finished this game 2-0 after a really fantastic individual goal from Silva. Does well to kind of kill that tie off. That combined with the 2 players who had gone off, it's set, and we're into the semi-final. We don't know our opponents yet, but we should know that in the next kind of few minutes as we record, when Hearts finish up their game with Morton. But into the semi-finals, we have a good shot of getting through to the next stage of European competition as well. I think things are looking good. And things are looking very good for Four Lads Had a Dream as well. We have a new sponsor we want to welcome, Clyde Joinery, who are looking after us. So, they'll be added in the newly recorded outro. So you hear my dulcet tones telling you all about them. In terms of what we're doing, we have matchday pods coming up Thursday and Sunday from Den Spark. We also have some coverage of the ladies' Old Firm game as well. So, that'll take us into the international break quite nicely. And then we have a Pie Sports special, another additional sponsor here on Four Lads, which will be coming to you over the international break. We don't exactly know what we're going to do for it, but it will be special because we've got to flog these pies. And, we don't need to flog them. They flog themselves. That's that good. In terms of what we're looking forward to then, Andy, obviously the Benfica game is big. It's progression in Europe, but I think the Dundee game is going to be critical as well. We need to secure the 3 points there. How do you see those next two games going?
Do you know, I actually quite fancy us against Benfica. It's just the Ibrox factor, and if the stadium gets going and if we start fast, you just never know. We've seen it all before. We've been there and we've beaten teams as good as Benfica, so that one kind of takes care of itself in terms of the players getting up for it, the crowd up for it, and everything else. But then whatever happens there, we've got to pick ourselves up for Dundee and make sure we go into that international break in a strong position. We thought against Motherwell, I think we maybe just took our eye off the ball a wee bit, thinking the hard work was done. So, Dundee will be equally huge for different reasons to make sure we go in a really strong position and get some bodies back, hopefully.
No, absolutely. Shona, how about you? What's your take on these next two games?
Well, I just think we're a different animal when it comes to European football. So, no, I'm pretty confident, actually. I think we will get a result against Benfica. I think, like people have said, it's all about the Ibrox atmosphere. I think if we can get Ibrox rocking, they'll crumble. But like I said, I think more importantly for me, it's all about the league. So whether we'll wait and see what the squad he picks, because I think a lot of people have said before, very hard to predict what Clement will pick. And I think he's really, really down to his bare bones for the game on Thursday night, so it'll be interesting to see what his lineup is. I would still imagine that the likes of, obviously Matondo's now back, so I would imagine Matondo will probably play out on the right with Silva out on the left. I think Silva's been brilliant. I thought he took his goal really well midweek. I think it was Lundstrom again with an assist, so that was Lundstrom a goal and an assist yesterday. And I think for me, Silva seems to be the guy that I don't know about you, but he seems the guy that everybody wants to get on another loan deal, and I think he's quite happy with his time so far at Ibrox. So I would be looking to try and get Silva on another loan deal. I think Niles Coppin worked with him when he was at PSV last year. So there's obviously a good relationship between him and Niles Coppin. So hopefully that relationship between him and Clement, and hopefully we can try and get him on another loan deal. I'll be all for that. I don't know about what you guys think, but we can discuss that. And I think for the Dundee game, I think the last time we played Dundee it was 3-1 and they scored first, didn't they? So I think Cifuentes also got sent off in that game. That's the one. Remember the red card that So for me, I think it's vital for us to score first in the Dundee game. If we can score first, then I'm pretty confident we'll go in to win that game. But we just need to be really careful because we are looking a wee bit leggy at the moment. So as long as we get that first goal, I'm pretty confident that we'll scud Dundee, should I say, a few goals. But I'm just really looking forward to this international break. I wonder if the likes of Todd Cantwell will return as well at the Dundee game, and we'll see maybe the likes of Sterling if he's fit enough, or McCausland. So look, I think at the end of the day, I think Thursday can kind of take care of itself. It's not one for me where I think we will win, but I'm not really that fussed about it. It's all about the league for me. So Dundee, I'm looking forward to it. I think we'll win comfortably.
No, I kind of am inclined to agree with you, Shona. Europe is what it is at the moment. This is all bonus as far as I think we should be concerned. It's all very nice to have. Obviously, I want us to win, but I'll not be completely heartbroken if we lose either, because we've made a very good account of ourselves. It looks like it's going to be Hearts who are in the pot with us in the Scottish Cup. So. They are currently winning 1-0 with 89 minutes gone. So watch this age dramatically after I hit the record button and stop recording. Rena Morton will get a goal back in the 95th minute or something and ruin the pod. But that's fine. It's all the joys of doing it while we're playing. Listen, folks, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We've gone 5 whole minutes over what we're normally meant to do, so Stevie will come over to my house and break my kneecaps later on, but that's fine. It was worth it to be able to chat to both of you. So, Shona, I want to thank you first. It's a pleasure to talk to you again, and I'm looking forward to hearing some of the more match pods as we go through the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting on Sunday. I think me and Steve are going to be going up for the Dundee game, and then we're off to the women's game straight after it. So, yeah, looking forward to it, guys. And it was a pleasure talking to you.
No, cheers. And Andy, always a pleasure, mate. Thanks again. And yeah, talk to you next week, hopefully off the back of 2 famous wins for the Rangers.
Yeah, good to be back on, talking about a couple of good results. And as you say, 2 more to go. Let's get them done.
Absolutely. Get some players back and hopefully get some of the other boys rested up as well. Folks, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We encourage you to like, share, subscribe, all of those good things that we do here over in podcast land, because helps us grow, helps show that you're enjoying the content. And yeah, kind of validates what we're doing. Response and feedback so far has been fantastic. So thank you very much for that. As I said, we've got plenty coming up over here on Four Lads, the match pods, obviously, and then the weekly podcast roundup next week as well. So we will talk to you again. Until then, bye for now. Four Lads Bite-Sized Podcast is proud to be sponsored by Rhino Express and Clyde View Joinery, certified fire door installer and maintainer. Also in association with Rangers Pools, Zenith Coins and Alexander Campbell Interiors. Please share and follow the pod to help us grow. We hope you enjoyed the show.